Hello, everybody. This is your teacher, Julian Marin, and welcome to this new review, this new feedback of Martes de Prueba. In this occasion, we're going to be reviewing Martes de Prueba number 2 for 8th grade in this year, 2025. So let's start sharing so we can give a look of what is it that we are confronting today. So yes, as I told you, this is Martes de Prueba number 2, 8th grade. And the first thing, as always, we need to confirm, we want to check, is what kind of exercise are we confronting? In this case, of course, first of all, we need to read the instructions. As in Prueba Saber 11, they appear in Spanish. You can find them here also, right? So the nature of this exercise essentially is to understand the context, as always, in which these communications are happening. Over here, we have 5 questions from 21 to 25, which essentially we have the question and 3 possible answers. It is very important to identify from the question what is the context. Um, it should be sufficient information. There should be sufficient information for us to realize what kind of context we are having there. And the strategy will be to evaluate the 3 options and identify which is the specific one that answers that question specific. Of course, it's not always as easy as it sounds, but it is a matter of making like the wisest choice, right? Selecting the one that seems to be more coherent in that light. So let's visualize over here, let's say questions 21, 22, and 23, and then we focus on the remaining 2 questions. So question number 1. Hey, Mark, when is the math test? So over here, you can identify, okay, math test is could be in a school setting, university setting, and then Mark. So there is no Mr. Gonzalez like in question 23. So must be a student, classmate, right? So let's see the options. We're talking about a math test, and over here we have a classmate. Option A, I have failed the math exam more than twice. Okay, over here, since we are talking about math test, also, this doesn't necessarily answer the question. Possibility or option B. I'm pretty sure it's on the last week of October. So this one, I believe, would be a very good option. Anyway, let's evaluate option C. On Monday, I took the grammar test. I failed it. Even though this seems to be in the same context, like educational context, evaluations, in this case, we're talking about grammar, so it's not connected to the discipline, which is mathematics. This is more like language or English, right? English class, Spanish class, but not mathematics. So I will suggest that the correct answer in this case will be option B. Let's evaluate question 22. Excuse me, officer, do you know where can I can exchange some money? What is it that I can exchange some money? So we got an officer. So we are on the street asking a policeman. And then, do you know where can I exchange some money? So we're talking about money, exchanging money. Exchange. So what is it? I mean, what is the context? We're on the street. We got some money. We want to exchange it. So let's see. Option A, the answer from the office. That would be that would be possible if I had money. So not asking if the officer has money or not. So this one I will just cancel. B, in my opinion, that's a good business. So this one is totally out of context. Not asking for an opinion, they're asking for a place. And so this one, not a good idea either. We can cancel A and we can cancel B. Let's see option C. You can go to the big bank over there. Here, this is the correct answer. C, directly answering the question. Talking about money, we have a bank. Sorry, we have a bank. So directly connected to the context and specifically answering the question. Let's evaluate question 23. Excellent job, Mr. Gonzalez. Keep it up. Okay, normally in a school setting, in an educational setting, we use Mr. or Miss um, in reference to professors, to teachers, right? But also the other way around. When the teachers are talking to a student in a sign of respect, trying to keep the roles, the distance, right, in a respectful communication way, this will be something that a teacher will say to a student evaluating their work. So let's see which of these three options would be a coherent response to this feedback that a professor or a teacher is giving to a student. Let's see. A, Maria is trying to get the prize. So over here, this is kind of out of context. We're talking about a prize. So it's not a contest. We're not talking about a contest, trying to win a prize. We're talking about a school setting, probably, most likely. Option B. Thanks, Mr. Lopez. How can I improve it? So this one seems to be more logical because this will be a response that you would give to a professor or a teacher who is giving you a feedback. And how can I improve it? How can I get it better? It is also a logical response because even though your work has been excellent, you want to continue improving. So I believe B is a good prospect. Still, let's evaluate C. They can be the best in my class. So this is something that probably a teacher will say, but maybe to a coworker, to another teacher. So even though it seems to be in the same context, educational context, I believe that this one will be canceled. So we cancel A and C, and the correct answer will be option B. Okay, so let's continue. Let's give a look. Let's give a look to questions number 24 and 25. Here they are. Okay, question 24. There is a new rock music shop in the mall. Come with me to get some stuff. So this is an invitation, probably to a friend, to go where? To the mall. More specifically, rock music shop. So it's a place where you can get music and sometimes you can even get some instruments. So let's evaluate. That is the context. So let's evaluate the option. Option A. I appreciate it, but I'm not a fan of that. So this will be like a negative response saying, okay, thank you. Thank you for asking, but I don't like music shops. There's nothing I would like to buy, right? Get some stuff is an invitation for buying some, purchasing some. So let's see. A seems to be like a logical response, but still, let's evaluate options B and C. B, as you see, she has expensive likes. So this one is kind of far from context. This wouldn't be like a very coherent answer. to this question that we have here in 24. So I believe B should be canceled. Let's evaluate C. My mother told me that this market is cool. Okay, so over here, it could be deceiving, talking about a mall, talking about a market, but we know that these are two different contexts. A mall is more like a more, let's say, a place where you will go and find this kind of stores. A marketplace is slightly different. It's like a more populous place where to go and get probably cheaper stuff, like a more traditional place. So this I will cancel too, also because I mean this is not really responding the invitation question, right? So I will suggest the correct answer will be A. And finally, we got 25. Let's check what question we have here. Look, he is my favorite football player. Isn't he the best? Okay, so what is the contest? The contest is probably they're watching a football match on the TV or in a stadium, right? Talking about football and more specifically, a football player. And the question is if, in the opinion of the other person participating in the conversation, this player is the best or not. Okay, so let's evaluate from the options which would be the one answering coherently to this question. So let's see. A, well, it depends on the type of sport you practice. So even though we continue talking about sports, this doesn't seem to be answering the question and be a coherent. So I will cancel A. Let's evaluate B. Yes, I saw him cheering up the audience the last match. Okay, match, sports. Cheering up, that would be a possibility depending on the actions of the players, because some of them go and try to cheer the audience, but this is more like a job of the cheerleaders, for example. So not very coherent. Let's evaluate C before we cancel B. I think he is a great player, but there are better players. So I believe this is the correct one because it's evidently answering the question if that player is the best or not. So yes, I mean, I think he's great, but there are better. So there we have the answers for 24 and 25. And with this, we are finishing the review for this Martes de Prueba number 2 for the 8th grade on the year 2025. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. The invitation is please click on like, subscribe to my channel, and promote so other people can benefit for this feedback and this reflection on this type of exams. See you in a future occasion. Thank you very much.